everybody, I'm Shaylee from Patterns by Shaylee. We are getting ready to start week number 2 of our Wandering Lattice quilt along. We are now ready for step number 7, and we're going to take these fabric B and C blocks and cut them in half. And so what you'll do is just take your big ruler that is long enough to stretch from corner to corner, line it up, and then we'll end up with 2 symmetrical pieces of fabric B, C, B. Remember, these are both fabric B that have been sewn together. So fabric B, C, B, and then we will make a stack of all of these. To keep everything as straight as possible, when you're cutting, use your ruler lines to line up your fabric C strip and make sure that fabric C comes in perpendicular to your cut line. Now that we have our stack of BCB halves, it's time to sew a fabric C strip across it. And just like before, you're going to roughly gauge the middle of your fabric C strip to the middle of your BCB piece. However, it doesn't matter because you're going to end up trimming once again. Step 7.2, gently iron your seams. If you ironed all of your seams open previously, I recommend doing the same here. And if you iron to one side, then iron this seam towards your fabric C strip. Grab your fabric A stack that we set aside way back in the beginning, and we're going to cut this the same way that we did our fabric B stack, from corner to corner diagonally. You can see that I'm occasionally rotating my fabric. This is the time that you can somewhat fussy cut. If you've got something that's off to one side on your layer cake, you can rotate it around and cut it, and it should be featured in one of your blocks. So for step 9, what we're going to do is take a fabric A section and sew it to our BCBC. And when we do this, again, this doesn't have to be perfect, you can eyeball it, but you're going to want to attempt to make this corner parallel. So you're going to want to make sure that this corner kind of lines up with this corner here, so that when you unfold it and you're trying to square it up, that you're going to have the most room for your squaring up measurements. Because if you put it way over here and you opened it up, you might actually end up with not a full 10-inch square. So what I'm going to do now, because I like to chain piece, I'm going to lay out all of my sections that need sewn together. Step 9.2, you guessed it, time to iron those seams again. I ironed mine open. You can also iron this one towards fabric C if you prefer to iron your seams to one side. Step 9.3, I'm going to show you how I mark my ruler. Just like last time that we were cutting, I'm going to place some tape along the edges of the ruler so that you can see where my cut edge is going to end up being, but I'm going to pull that off before I actually trim. If I had not struggled with my masking tape, I would have probably marked all the way across, but you do not have to. If you mark roughly half or even a little less than half, you should have no problem getting everything to line up appropriately. So you're going to use this to make sure that this short piece that you've marked on your ruler, to make sure that your fabric C short leg is lined up appropriately. And then you're going to, assuming your ruler has a diagonal, you're going to make sure that this is the diagonal that runs correctly from corner to corner of your 9-inch square. You can use that to run it down the center of your long fabric C leg. You'll cut the right and the top. Now rotate the block 180 degrees. Line it up with your 9-inch mark. So the fresh cut goes on your 9-inch ruler mark. You can take a quick glance to make sure that this looks like it's still running. The length of your long fabric C-strip. This is now irrelevant. And slice the right and the top. And there you have it. A finished block. Once you finish trimming all your blocks, you're done with week number 2. Hooray! Don't forget to post your updates on Instagram using our Quilt Along hashtag or in the Wandering Lattice Quilt Along group on Facebook. This week's drawing is for a Christmas fat quarter bundle and a couple fun notions. I'll post a reminder with pictures of the giveaway items later this week.